This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, available 100% online, plus it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist, and if things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/trashtuesday. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/trashtuesday.
Hi guys, next week, I can't believe it, I'm finally coming to Phoenix. I cannot wait. Get your tickets now at estheronIce.com, and don't forget to check out my new solo podcast, audio only. It's called My Pleasure, and it's available where you listen to all your audio only podcasts. Mwah.
Hello, Sluggies. Hello, Insannies. Hello, Stannies. Hello, what else do I call you? Orphans. You guys are the best. I had so much fun on all of these episodes. Am I on this one? It's so fun to be here with you guys. I am also going to be on the road. It is here. My favorite, most exciting date coming up is Las Vegas, New Year's, December 30th and 31st. Come hang out with me. We're going to party. It's going to be absolutely the best. I am so stoked for that. Then I'm going to be doing a one-nighter January 7th at Burbank at Flappers in Burbank. I'm going to be in Wisconsin in January. I'm going to be in Florida, February and March. And in Canada, a lot more shows are getting added in different places. So go to annieletterman.com/shows to check them out. Also, after this show, go over to Annie Wood. Go to youtube.com/Annie Letterman as my solo podcast. It's so fun. We love it over there. Think of it as a double feature. See you guys later.
I can't tap on my phone with gloves on. Did you know that?
Haha. Sorry, the bully in me just came out.
Yep.
I'm tip-tapping away over here.
Wait, who's that character on The Simpsons? Ha ha.
Oh, yeah.
Nelson?
Who is that?
Yeah.
I was going to say Cartman. Oh, no. They're all blending.
For you to like mess up those universes is like really, it's like weird.
Why? You think I'm like a cartoon girl?
No, like it's just that could never happen to me. And so seeing like that you are capable of.
Why? Because your face is so round. You always know the round face characters?
Because like Simpsons, Family Guy, and South Park, like they're just so different. Like you cannot mesh them.
They are very different.
Happy New Year.
Hey, yeah. Hey, Happy New Year's.
We're in the roaring 20s.
We're roaring. We're in our 20s. This is the only way we can be in our 20s is to do this episode.
Oh, that's so sad. But do you genuinely miss your 20s?
No.
No.
I don't.
Not even a little bit.
And you know what's funny is when I was that age and you hear people older than you saying like, oh, it gets better. You're like, yeah, right. And then you get that age and you're like, oh my God, when you're young, you suck. You're so stupid. You're embarrassing yourself everywhere you go. Like, I feel like my 30s are just another like try at my 20s where I'm smarter and cooler.
Remember thinking people were old too? Like people in their 30s were old.
Well, my mom, like by the time she was my age, had 12-year-old kids.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, you view her differently. But no, you could. I remember being 27 though and fully believing I was peaking. I was like, I think this is as good as it's ever going to get. Boy, was I wrong.
27 was a good year though, but it was like, can you imagine that being it?
It's a fun age, but it's still too young. Like I know they say your brain isn't developed till 25. I think like honestly 35.
Because you're under 35?
Yeah. I'm hoping there's more room in there. But I remember overhearing a conversation with my dad and his friends once, and they were talking about how life starts at 30. And I remember thinking like, that's insane. I'm like 12. What are they talking about? And now I'm like, oh yeah, it actually does.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be like a hot 50-something Laura Dern.
Mm.
Like that's sort of what I'm striving for. I don't know how my body is gonna, look at that age, but I think I'm gonna be killing it at that age.
You're gonna have to go a little white face, I think. You have to whiten it up a little bit. Do a little bleaching of the skin. I can see this for you. Oh my God. She goes blonde. She fucks Ben Harper.
Oh, she was.
She married him, or she maybe she had one of those not marriages, but was together so long and had a bunch of kids.
Laura Dern is really interesting to me because of her partners.
Yeah,
he's not the only, I guess like not strange guy, but you know how like can you pull up people?
He's
that
alty.
Yeah, he's like alty.
Like he probably wore like silly jackets a lot.
Baron Davis, remember that?
I don't remember that.
I remember that.
What?
So this is the man that Laura Dern has dated. So we have Baron Davis. Who else? Ben Harper. Common.
Oh my God, I was like, that Ben Harper looks like Common.
Billy Bob.
Oh, Billy Bob's the weirdest one.
Whoa.
Wait, I told you guys my story of when I met him, right?
I think you did. Wait, what happened?
He was so exactly like what you would expect him to be. My friend, we were like hanging out during this movie, The Astronaut Farmer, that they were filming in Santa Fe. And my friend was hooking up with, I can't even say who it is, but someone that was on the movie. It's like for her own. It's so embarrassing. I remember being like, I had never seen like someone be a star fucker where I was like, whew, that's who you're banging? Holy shit. And this guy kept trying to set me up with Billy Bob. I was like, I'm good.
Wait, what?
I was 21. He's like, I can get you Billy Bob if you want. Like, who knows if he could? Like, it wasn't like Billy Bob was like coming for me, but I was like, I'm good. Like, we were just like these, waitresses and college students in Santa Fe.
Wait, can we pause here for a second? Like, isn't Billy Bob like a hot man icon?
I never wanted to fuck a celebrity. I never was like interested in that.
Okay.
I was like a crew fucker. I liked the crew. I liked the guys with the calluses on their hands that were
just
carrying around sandbags.
Check in with you. Are you attracted to Billy Bob Thornton?
Personally, no.
Carlos? Anyone?
Cool.
Can I tell you my favorite Billy Bob moment is when he got interviewed for his band and they kept bringing up his acting career and he was so mad. Will you look that up? Yeah. It was so good.
Okay, wait. Okay, so Karen.
Okay, so anyway, so my friend was hooking up with this guy on the movie who was very old and very not Billy Bob.
And you rejected Angelina Jolie's ex.
I didn't reject. I want to be clear. This was this other guy being like, "You want Billy Bob? I'll get you Billy Bob." I'm like, "What?" But so we go on set and we're in the craft services, and Billy Bob Thornton comes up, and he goes, he puts his hand out and he goes, "I'm Billy Bob Thornton, international superstar." And I think I said something like, "Oh, I heard you were looking for me." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm not famous anymore." And then
I heard you were looking for me.
I said something stupid. I just said something. I was like, I don't know. And I just wasn't allowing. I wouldn't allow the dominance. And his thumb was hurt for some reason. I don't remember why. But anyway, so he goes, he said, "Do you know any virgins?" Immediately. And I went, "I actually do know a virgin." He goes, Can you give me her number? And I go, "No." And then it was, "Can I ask you a personal question?" I said, "Sure." And he said, "Is 3 inches too small?" And I said, "It depends on the direction you're holding the ruler." I was really proud of how quick I was. And that was my whole Billy Bob. And then my friend's like, I think you can get him too. I don't know.
Wait,
it was just but I think he was playing up being like a creep. Like,
that's disturbing.
it just seemed to be a very it seemed to be like a,
I think we have a lawsuit on our hands. That is disturbing.
He was just being a thing. I don't know.
Exactly who you thought he would be.
It was just very surprising how Billy Bob he was. Yeah.
He's like, so every girl he meets, he's just like, "Do you know any virgins?"
I think he was just fucking around.
Okay.
I do believe.
He was fucking around.
Yeah.
No, I think he was fucking around. He was doing international superstar. Everything he was doing was kind of this bit for the craft service people.
Okay, but don't you feel like we know actual men who are looking for virgins?
And I do know that, and that's why I can differentiate that he was doing a bit.
I'll take
I
that.
100% do.
We know men who want virgins.
Yes.
I mean, yes, okay. One, maybe two. But how is that fun?
It's power. It's not fun.
It's a psychological insecurity on their part.
I love on The Bachelor and stuff when you're watching and a girl will be she'll be on the almost to the final episode and she'll be like, I gotta tell him. And she's like, "I'm a virgin." You see them go yikes. Ooh. Ooh. Some of them are great. And it's ew. Why do you want that?
Yeah.
Let her live her life. Pop that cherry somewhere else.
Carlos, if you were on a
Come
date,
bring me the pre-bloodied.
if you were on a date with a girl and it was going there, maybe you're back at someone's place, and then she said she was a virgin, would you be more turned on or turned off?
Can I answer for him? You'd be turned on because it's a tighter pussy and it mimics the asshole of a man.
It would be weird.
It's
I
too
would
much
be
pressure,
weirded
right?
out. It's not even pressure on me. I would just be like confused as to why they're a virgin. Like,
Yeah, like,
what
what's
am I
happening
going out
on-
with a 19-year-old? It's just strange.
Or you're like super religious.
That would
or...
freak me out.
Oh my God, I just remembered something. One time in college, I was hooking up with this guy. We were making out. And then he told me he was a virgin. And I was like, ew.
So you were the guy.
I was the good guy that's like, ew.
I was the opposite. I would say I
Oh,
slept with
boy.
a lot of when I was 16, I slept most of the boys that I slept with between 16 and 18 were virgins. But I feel like
Ew.
everyone was a virgin at that age.
I never had virgins. I was always the lesser of the
Wait,
thing.
Esther, the chances of a 16, 17-year-old boy being a virgin is pretty high. So if that's the pool I'm picking from, it's probably 50-50, right?
That's true. But what was that like for you? Were they like too excited?
Why
But
are you
I
so
had just
excited?
started fucking too. So I guess it didn't feel weird.
It's like, the chances of fucking a virgin when you're that age are
Yeah.
pretty big. It's like the guys our age and older that we're like, guys, come on, you had to go find these people.
But what
virgin, you
felt
gotta look.
kind of nice, it was, I remember thinking like, oh my God, they're going to remember my name forever.
That is okay. That's cool.
And also like at the safety of,
It's cool and sick.
and kind of sick. But I remember thinking like, oh, I'm there first. Like I feel honored.
I wonder how many Khalyla tattoos there are. Not just in this room.
Oh my God, I'm the leader of the
You're like
Khalyla virgin.
No, you're
pack.
like a hack. Like you like so many have come before you.
Yeah.
Like they're like another Khalyla. We've gotten like 4 today.
Whoa, I guess this is kind of New Year's Eve themed, like a rebirthing of virgins. I
yes,
don't
yes,
know.
yes.
It's a virgin year.
If there was a way for you to put your hymen back together,
Humpty Dumpty
experience.
sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty's a yoni egg.
I will say this, I was really disappointed when I had sex the first time and there was no blood. I was like, what? Like, I thought I was a virgin. Like, I swear.
The type of pain was a different pain than I thought it was going to be too.
Yeah, it didn't hurt at all.
Oh no, mine hurt so bad, you big pussy
Yeah.
bitch.
No.
Oh my God, on that little body it didn't hurt. Jesus Christ.
Like, it was a good hurt. Like,
No,
like,
mine was like I felt like I was being bruised and cut at the same time. That's how I felt.
same.
Wait, what?
I for sure thought that since I had been diddled and I got into a pretty brutal biking accident that involved my pussy being impaled at
She got swing.
I for sure thought that my hymen had just been like dissolved.
Yeah.
But it turns out it was excruciating for me. I remember after the first time I ever had sex, I was like, I never want to do that again. That was horrible. I was traumatized.
Yeah,
I
it was
felt
not.
so sick. My pussy ached.
I had no
all that.
romance either. Did you have any romance involved in yours?
There was, but I didn't have sex again for a year and a half after my first time. That's how much I hated it.
Yeah, me too.
What? Wait, but weren't you like, hadn't you been like,
Fingered? Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, for sure. Like I got fingered when I was 12.
You not saying the word is so crazy. You are so crazy.
I go like this.
I want to be polite.
Did you guys forget I got fingered by a 19-year-old when I was 12?
I do forget that often.
I really black it out. I really black it out.
I do forget it. So
traumatizing.
that every time I relearn it, it's like as exciting as the first
No,
time.
it pops back in my head usually in the middle of the night. I wake up sweating, twitching.
No, to be formal, I'm very sorry that happened. It's child abuse.
I didn't know it was wrong at that time, so who cares? It's not one of my core wounds.
Yeah, isn't that
Love it.
so weird? Like, I had a thing happen where I was filming this like Hooters sketch. I think I talked about it before, but I was filming this Hooters sketch and I was getting pushed out. The whole reason I came up with the idea is I was with this girl and we stopped at a Hooters because I thought it'd be funny. And there was a drunk guy in a suit. And he was being so annoying. And I thought he worked there originally. And when I realized he didn't work there, I was like, we got to make a sketch where he's the guy that works there or something. So then I made a sketch where he was like, I came in to get a job application and he pushes me on and goes, you have no tits. Like, how dare you try to work here? And it all came because this guy was drunk and annoying. So I knew when I asked him to be in the sketch, like I was getting myself into a situation with an annoying drunk man in a suit. So the guy I had this girl who I was friends with at the time filming, and the guy ended up like pulling my hair. He did something that was like too much, but I knew like going into it that this guy was gonna end up being like a problem. Sort of like pulling my hair or something. And I was like, dude, don't fucking pull my, like I was like, you're going to, I had to like slap him or whatever, And my friend, and we ended up doing the sketch and everything ended up being funny. We leave and the girl I was friends with she was like, what he did to you was so unacceptable. And I was like, no, it's fine. And she goes, no. And she's like, I need to have my feelings about it. I was like, no, bitch, you're trying to make this into like a core wound for me. I go, no, because I could go there where I get traumatized by this. But I am accepting responsibility for the fact that I got involved. I literally said to a man, talk to me about my tits and push me physically. So, you know what I mean? But it was like she wanted it so bad for it to be a core wound.
That's such an interesting analogy to like when a little kid falls and if you're like, oh, are you okay? Then they start crying. But if you're just like, you're fine, like it's okay. Like she did the bad version of that.
Yes.
Right. You cannot like force delegate a pain onto someone
no
because you think it's wrong, because it's like,
but also, did you think it was wrong, or are you trying to have an emotion because it didn't happen to you?
Yes, that would
like
be
what the hell? Because I used to, with this same girl, I used to have a lot of like problems where she would be like telling me gossip about a person I had already told her I didn't want to be friends with, like not in a mean way, like it was just someone that I didn't find interesting. And do you know when you encounter people, especially in this business, and you go like, oh, like I see my own death when I'm talking to you. Like time is like ticking. Like I go like, ooh, you're wasting like what I have left on this earth. Like that's who this person was to me. And it wasn't like, it's no like disrespect. Like I know that sounds so disrespectful, but like, it just like, this is not my person. This doesn't make me laugh. This doesn't elevate my life. Right? Yeah, I'm like, when I'm talking to you, like I could be doing anything else in the world that makes me feel better than talking to you. And I just was like, I don't want to get like in this person's drama. And so we had this person was like a mutual friend, and she kept bringing this person up to me, and I kept going, you're making me sound so mean. I don't want to have to keep like defending that I want to be friends with this person. It's just a boundary. It's not like, no offense, I'm happy that you're friends with this person. But she would always come to me, she'd be like, you're not even gonna believe what happened with her. This, and I go, I don't want to talk about this person. She goes, I'm allowed to tell you my feelings. I'm like, but it's not your feelings. It's your feelings about someone else. And I started to notice this pattern with this person where it was like, everything was like an emotion about something happening to someone else. It was like all gossipy. And I was like, if it's about something that happened to you, I'll talk to you about it. But
you know what I love what you said is like, you talk to someone, you see your own death, you could be doing anything else, and then you're like, but no disrespect. Like, I actually relate to that so hard. It's like, there are people I just like, I don't want to go there, and then it's like, but it's not an evil thing on my part. It's just like,
our Venn diagrams don't, like, they don't need to touch. Like, we don't need to overlap at all. We can just be like living our separate lives. And it's like, I want the best for you in your life. It's just, I'm bored to tears around this person. Bored to tears.
But there sometimes like instinct is everything. Like I always go back to my sister having worked in jails for over 10 years.
That's so funny.
So she's a very,
you guys have just been through so much. It's so
you've
crazy.
seen it all.
And you say it, I forget. It is like I relearn everything every time you say it.
But she worked in jails for 10 years. So she is very discerning of types. Predators, murderers. She has to medically treat people who just stab their wives. So she's almost like, you almost kind of have she has a sixth sense for certain types. And I remember her meeting a particular comic.
But she was like pointing to like when she met you.
She met a particular male comic a couple years ago. And immediately she was like, no, Khalyla. He is not even just a bad guy, but dangerous. He does bad things.
Interesting.
And I was like, Khalyla, you're being like really prematurely, like you're being judgy, like he's he's blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, I'm telling you. It's like, just wait. And a couple of years later.
Shit went down.
Yeah. But she is like high on the discernment. And sometimes like people, like if you get that feeling, I think that you should listen to that feeling about somebody. And I don't think you should just brush it off as, oh, maybe I'm being judgmental. You should listen to it a little bit.
Well, it's just, I was listening to like one of my mentors or one of the people online or something. And I remember them saying, whatever if someone doesn't like elevate your life and doesn't like bring you that joy, like you don't owe them. Like, why would you? Because that's like a weird codependent thing. Like if I'm now worrying about this person that I've just, and it's not like, I'm not like, if I see this person, I'm like, I don't go like, oh, I'm out of here or anything. It's just like, I don't choose to like on purpose hang out with this person or like, I don't want them to text. I don't want to, they're just not.
Yeah. And by the way, just to prove it's like so not even a rudeness, I feel like I'm learning so much about how when the way you're raised, that dictates like what kind of personalities and people you're drawn to. So it could literally just be you guys, like you and this another person are just not a match, like culturally.
Yeah.
Even if you look the same, whatever it is. But I really trust people like that who can read someone and tell you. Like, I trust that way more than what you're saying about like your friend who would just tell you like talk shit about someone else. It's like that I don't trust. That's like someone else's experience. But like when someone's like, no, I have this weird gut instinct because I've been around this type, like that's so valuable to me. Can I have your sister's phone number?
Oh, scary.
Take her to my house.
Her sister, sorry, she's met you.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Navigating any of life's challenges can make you feel unsure, whether it's a career change, a new relationship, or even becoming a parent. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, available 100% online, plus it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist, and if things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/trashtuesday. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/trashtuesday.
Okay, so I actually have sort of just like a friendship question that I really feel like it is my issue, but I want to get your guys' advice. I have a friend who I love so much, and I feel like I see her making decisions that like are not good for her, and like maybe like hung up on a guy that it's just, I think that's like the big issue. And I find myself wanting to be like, hey, here's what I think. I think this and I think this and I want to help you. And it's all coming from this place of like wanting to help her. Mm-hmm. But I know, just like through experience, nobody listens to you when you do that, right? Like, I just want to confirm that I'm like, there's nothing that can be done, right?
You cannot do it unsolicited. If she comes to you, then that's the only time you speak, because if you push your like heavy opinions on her, you're no longer going to be the person she turns to or even opens up to, because she's going to be like, oh, she's going to expect that I told you so vibe. And I know what you mean. It's really difficult not to intervene. And I've definitely been in this situation where I want to shake somebody and be like, look, can you not see that 1 + 1 = 2? The result of everything that you're experiencing is because of this person. But you just can't, Esther.
What the fuck? That's crazy to me. Like, what would you do if you're?
I would just tell them. Really? I don't give a fuck. I would just go, look, like maybe this isn't what you want to hear. But the problem is, like, I hate when I get into that part of relationships, friendships, where it's like things get snappy. Like, I hate because people will get mad because they'll defend. They want to believe this is a person, like people will defend these guys, right? Yeah. Like they'll be like, all right, no, but he loves me, even though he doesn't like call me until it's like 3 a.m. or whatever. I'm just making up an example. And you can see that this is a guy that's like not treating your friend well, you can see that. But it's like even with, I feel like you've done this for me before. You've been like, look, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but like as your friend.
I really like the approach my sister takes with me when she knows I'm dating a scumbag. And I take a very different approach from her, because when she was dating an abusive fuck for 6 years, I was always in her face, like, look at him. He's a fucking this. Like, look what he's doing. Like, but she was so in it that eventually I sort of like, there was a distance between us because she couldn't come to me anymore about problems regarding him, right? Eventually they broke up. I wish a lot of times that I held my tongue, because it wasn't my place. It's her journey. It's her life. My sister takes a different approach with me. When I have dated scumbags, she just waits. Mm-hmm. She's like, I trust my sister to figure it out. She's going to have maybe a couple of years of a lot of pain, but when she's ready to talk about it, I'm going to give her my honest opinion, but she just doesn't meddle. And I really, really respect her for that. Because she lets me learn my hard lessons. But in your case, if it's been going on for 10 years.
And also it's like, I think you hold back as much as you can. And then when you can no longer say it, there's a reason you can no longer say it. Because maybe it's crossing a boundary for you at this point where you're like, I'm just getting all of these like terrible tales and I have to just sit by them. Do you know what I mean?
Would you want it if someone intervened unsolicited with you and saying, Esther, look.
I actually think
you're a lesbian.
I actually think back to a time where I was dating a guy where he was clearly just like would come over after he got off work and have sex with me and leave and didn't sleep over because he said he couldn't find parking. Like I was in that situation and I had my friend who was my famously crazy roommate that we all know. She sat me, who was older than me and wiser, and she's like, here's the facts. Like, he doesn't respect you. He doesn't like you. He comes over after work. And even though I was like I remember still being like, I like him, you know, I did hear her and was like, okay, those are interesting things she's saying. Like, but I like to digest feedback. Like I weirdly like love it and welcome it, which I think a lot of people do, I would think, but it seems like, I don't know.
I think,
I can promise you that if you were to come on strong to this person, that you're not going to get the intended result. I could promise you that.
But maybe you don't have to come on strong. Maybe you do like what you did with me, where you were like, look, this is like probably not what you want to hear, but this is like my opinion and this is what I'm seeing. And like, as your friend who wants you to be treated well, this isn't like a way I would like you to be treated.
Because I find myself pulling back as a friend.
Because you don't want to,
Exactly. And I hate that. And that makes me so sad. But I'm like, well, this is kind of the right boundary, I think, is to just be like, okay, and this, even with my sister, I go through this and friend here, friend there. It's like, okay, this person is making a life choice I don't agree with. My instinct is to like fucking bum rush them and tell them everything they're doing wrong. That doesn't work. I've learned that. So like, just sit back and.
But also working is like feeling like what you say has to have like a specific outcome. You just need to say what you need to say. Like, cause it is affecting your friendship.
Yeah, it is.
It's affecting your friendship. So what do you need to say for yourself to help your friendship?
The difficult part is if this person is coming to you always downtrodden, you know, saying, I feel my life is in shambles. That's when it's like, all right, like, you want solutions or do you want comfort?
Right.
Like, choose one. Choose a fucking lane.
You know what? I've heard Whitney ask me that before. Do you want solutions or do you want comfort? And I was like,
comfort, obviously.
And I was
have you met me?
That was so smart. And you're right. I forgot about that. I should ask people that.
Because it is about your boundary and what you're willing to take in this situation, because she's in a habit of like a bad.
But wait for an opening, and the opening has to come from her.
Okay.
Because then it's going to cause like attention, and like I just don't think that's the way. Like, I think that's very meddling if you come like unannounced and you're like, hey, what's up? So here are my thoughts.
No, you're not going to do that.
Well,
really?
Wait.
That's so funny. Like, hi, I need to talk to you. I would kill myself. If you called me and were like, hi, I need to talk to you, I would jump off a bridge. I'd be like, no, you don't. No one's talking to me.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I'd love to know how people handle
because
like, tricky situations with friendships.
I do think this is a common thing that comes up, and like I feel like I'm just the one that's feeling it this week, you know, like
I just feel like if it's frustrating you, that's the issue. It's like, what is frustrating you about it? Is there something you can detach from? But it's like, you can't give advice expecting people to take it either. It's like, you can say something like, because I feel like with you, what you said to me was like a sentiment sort of like for the future, like you might not want to hear this now, you know, but it was like good to hear. It's like, even though it's annoying, because you want someone to be like, no, I think he really does like you. It's just he, you know, he's just going through something during the day. During the times or other people see you out together. That's not my story.
I had a friend who I intervened very hard with, and she was with this guy who was just very like 50% in with her. And she was this gorgeous, successful, longtime friend of mine. And I just saw this dude just completely take her for a ride, take advantage of her time. But she was like, Khalyla, I think he's just going through something. I was like, he's not. He doesn't like you. And I was so firm on that. But she stuck around and she hung in there. She's like, I just have a feeling. I think he can get there for me. And you know what? I was wrong. He got there for her. And they have 3 kids now. And
and that's where it's like her instinct is overriding yours because she's in it and there's things that you're not seeing.
That's weird though.
But if you're always prefacing as this is my opinion, like I had a friendship that actually ended over this girl that I really I cared about. She was dating someone who she had said like the person had broken up with her and then she told like was trying to still be friends with her and she was like, no, my feelings are too hurt. Like my heart is broken. Like I can't be friends. And then that person kept pursuing this friendship. And I was like, this person sounds like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what the hell is this? Like they're breaking your boundaries. Like, and she got so mad, started screaming, you don't know this person, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I only know what you told me. I know all of the information you told me. And I'm not saying, I'm just telling you, like, as your friend, I care about you. I would like people to treat you with the respect, you know? And then there was a quick boundary set with me. And I did respect it. Bye.
Here's
See you later.
A boundary that I also learned for myself is I don't tell my family difficulties in my relationship. I don't share that because I always want them to have like a good feelings for my partner. So it's like if I'm like, if he did something to really piss me off, like my first phone call isn't to my family. It's like, we're going to work it out first because it stays fixed in their head.
Yeah.
And that version of whatever information you're telling them becomes a different picture of who they actually are. So you've already moved on from the problem, but they haven't yet. Now they think that this guy is just this and that. And that's why that's like my number one rule. I don't turn to my family about like relationship problems.
I think we've all made that mistake before where you like talk so much shit on your boyfriend and then like you're at Thanksgiving like, why does nobody like him?
Exactly, yeah.
Why are you guys mad at him? Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just like, I am brutally honest and it's just the way I am. And it's, you know, maybe not the right thing for people that want to hear a certain thing, but that's just how I operate.
Yeah.
Maybe that then I need to sort of take inspiration from what you just said and be like, you know what? This is how I operate too. And it's like, if the next time this person like complains about something in that area, like maybe I'm just gonna be who I really am and respond honestly and like be true to myself. Mm-hmm. And I think that is being true to them as well. Right. And like what happens,
because if you're worried about like the way she reacts, that's like it's like so codependent. It's like you don't have control over how she acts anyway. And even though like you can have some ideas of what might happen, it's still bothering you. So the way like it's bothering you enough to bring it up here, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, so it's about you. You're busy. You have shit you're doing. You're like creating a whole thing. You're entertaining. You're doing all these things. So it's like, do you have time to just sit and swallow your thoughts? Or do you need to just speak your mind and trust that whatever's going to happen with the friendship is what's supposed to happen with the friendship?
Yeah, I like that.
Now, I know earlier we talked about codes. When you meet someone and your codes just don't match and automatically you feel like, I don't want to know this person, waste of time. Recently, I was reading about the Nobel Peace Prize winner, the woman who basically proved the theory of quantum entanglement, which is if you split two particles, no matter the distance, 7 centimeters apart or 7 light years apart, if you charge this particle, this one will also charge.
Oh, so cute. Max.
I don't know. I know. I was thinking, I thought of you.
Maxie.
But do you think like, I don't know what that proves in terms of like how like humanity is interconnected and whatnot. But do you think that, because I always never used to believe in fate or destiny.
That was making me so emo. I'm like about to cry. That's so cute. I'm just thinking about my brother.
I was thinking that too. I was like, you are forever two charged particles.
Yeah.
You are just split particles.
Oh, my.
But now it's like science like fully accepts it. They've always talked about it. But now you're like, oh, like this is the thing. Maybe. Yeah. And I always thought like fate or meeting someone and even manifestation is like all bogus. But when I read more about it, I was like, oh shit, like have I been wrong? I've always loved the idea of just everything being random. Everything is just chance. But then I'm like, no, like what if there's a charged particle out there for me?
But you know what? Also, I think the theory, not that I've read the fucking thing, I'm just going off of literally the two sentences that you fucking said.
You're right. By the way, I also have,
I don't understand
any of it.
But maybe the split particle idea, it's not that they come together, right? It's that even separated, they can charge each other. So it's like it's like someone maybe you don't even ever need to meet. Or maybe it's someone you already met.
Yeah.
Oh, ex-boyfriend girl, she loves this shit. She loves ex-boyfriends.
I was thinking about this. I'm 50-50 on the ex-boyfriends because you.
Well, you're growing. You're growing.
Why you could put one ex-boyfriend in front of me right now, and I would rip his dick off his body.
Yeah.
I hate him so fucking much.
Well, of course, you don't have to have all. You don't like all of them. Yeah.
I only have like 2 ex-boyfriend friends, or
Yeah.
like not friends, but like like
Loves.
Brian Redban.
I love Brian. I love my exes so much. We're like a family.
Except one estranged family member that's blocked you out, bitch. That one cousin that just don't want to come to the reunion.
I'll find you.
Wait, maybe he's your split particle, and that's why you feel so strongly.
And you don't need to see him. He can just charge you.
I don't even want to think that. I fucking hate him. I don't want any connection to him.
Yes, you do. That's the funniest part.
No,
You
it's
rejected
like
so hard.
No, like the fact that he has like has banned me from his life so permanently. I'm like, stay banned.
Well, that's why you know you're not over him, because you said hate, and hate is the opposite of love.
You
Hate is
love
not the opposite of
nightmare.
love.
Is the opposite of a nightmare.
What is the opposite of love?
Disinterest?
Disinterest, like a
Indifference.
indifference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's hate there's still some love there, unfortunately.
Well, I am mad at having a life ban from him. I don't like being
funny.
banned.
It's so funny.
Don't worry, I'm still seeking out Bradley Vanderkam. He has not accepted my Facebook friend request in 17 years.
Did you tell him that Carlos worked at his grandmother's dog shop?
What?
Oh, Vanderkamp. Sorry, I was thinking Vanderpump. Sorry. Carlos knows his grandma.
I respect this boy so much. He was a college boyfriend. I dated him for 3 months, and I cheated on him with a boy when I went to Mexico. And he was like, "We're done," and he was so done. Like, he never forgave me, never gave me. He like straight up just iced me out, even to this day. So I know the feeling, Esther, but I don't feel like a hate or a love. I respect it.
I just keep thinking of when I'm in Mexico. I'm trying to do the Tupac song.
Every other city we go.
But I'm trying to make it Mexico. Mexico. No matter where I go. I'm going to fuck another guy in Mexico.
What is this?
Tupac.
The Tupac song.
And Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nate
Ooh,
Dogg.
Nice.
Groove.
I like when my ex-boyfriends are like, I'm good. I love a boundary. But you know what? I think I had no boundaries as a kid. Like, I used to always say, when McDonald's like let you have breakfast all day, I was like, it was devastating for me. That was the only time in my life someone was like, no, bitch. And I was like, okay, thank you.
You needed that.
I was like, okay, all right. That's never happened. You like that too.
I actually totally agree. Yeah. It's like I like discipline as well.
Yeah.
Like tell me where to go.
But you like discipline so you can get in eventually. And he's not letting you in. He's just giving you the...
Yeah.
Cut me off.
You want to be cut off.
Yeah. Cut me off. Like, you cannot allow me to overindulge in anything, because I will, it's no longer fun to consume.
You should cast him in your movie.
Who?
The boyfriend. See if he shows up.
I think that this age, Esther, like 34, I'm like, cut me off. I love it. But I think like it's like from that age, it's like traumatic to be cut off.
Well, you can't believe it. Well, I think my idea of friendship and everything was so forever for me when I was young. I used to have like my like phone list, from before cell phones. I had like my phone list of all my friends, and it was just like, I just had all, I went to these like Quaker youth retreats. So I always had friends that like lived in different places that I met from different things. And I just always like thought I was going to stay connected to everyone. So when people were like, I'm good, it was so like devastating, but then a really good lesson. Cause now I'm like to other people.
Can I tell you guys a cute story? You know how we're like, phone numbers are basically like obsolete. Who gives a shit? You can just about get a hold of anybody. Instagram, social media, directly, tweet at them. But I got a love letter. Okay, so TigerBelly has obviously our factory, like our merch guys. And somebody sent this love letter to our customer service. And I just think it's so cute, because I'm like, what is the mindset here? Like, what is he thinking? And why did he send it to customer service of our like
That's how easy you
merch
see him.
shop? Can I read it to you?
Do you not feel scared?
I do.
Well,
I find stranger danger of these.
I've gotten love letters.
Yeah, I
from my
don't
agents
like them.
from prisoners.
Well, anyone that's sending you a love letter could be in prison.
Wait, what are you saying?
That we're gonna encourage more of this behavior.
Stalkery
if
stuff.
you were
But I thought it was really sweet, and I think maybe it's
She doesn't
sweet
go on
'cause
the
it's
Do you
road.
really
customer
think it's
service.
sweet? Or
Yeah, because when you read it,
Okay.
yeah. Well,
Ooh.
maybe not.
She doesn't go on the road. You just need to do one meet and greet, girl. You'll be fine. You'll get it all.
Oh no, I've been groped. I've been groped by drunk men after Bobby shows. Yes, I've
Nice.
been there many times. Heavy hot breath on me. I've done it all. You can.
breath?
I'm sad to hear of the breakup news between Bobby and Khalyla a few months ago, but I'm happy to hear now that both Bobby and Khalyla are doing well and moving on with their lives. Tell me if you feel a stalker vibe.
I'm already scared.
I've often
I'm
thought
shivering.
when watching the podcast that Khalyla is amazing in so many ways, and I'm just wondering if you would consider forwarding my email to her in case she's open to meeting a good dude. Yes, with a belly and a chaotic life, but a good dude. I'm nothing special looks-wise, and I'm certainly not famous, but we could get along great for a number of reasons, and her smile truly makes me melt.
Love George Kimmel.
Anyways, blah, 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 blah. I would love the opportunity to communicate with Khalyla sometime and possibly become her friend, or who knows, ...
There's like 20 million of these.
I know, but customer service doesn't. If it was a DM, I'd probably be like, oh, who cares?
It's like the effort that gets you.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the scary part to me. If you go to a second location to send me something, I'm terrified. What other lengths will you go through?
Is
Carlos,
it
what are
banana
your
break
thoughts?
time?
Oh yeah, sorry.
My thoughts are that that's really easy to write, and any crazy person
Yes.
can put together a bunch of sentences.
It wasn't nice enough to you either.
Yeah. And also
Your
that sounds
smile
like
lights
hitting
up a
girl
room. What do
up
you
on
say is
LinkedIn.
hacky?
Like it's like hitting a girl up on LinkedIn or something. It's like a weird route.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think the guy.
I think that's creepy. LinkedIn.
Well, we don't have LinkedIn's
Because
around.
they want to get their Lincoln sausage,
sausage
link.
link.
Their sausage.
Banana break.
I don't know why Mo's trying to find you a husband. Like, we got to get her married.
You know, you're very Filipino in that way. That's all older.
You're very
Filipinos-
wifey, though. You're wifey. You've been through enough. I'm like, you're just ready to find someone that's just going to. I really do think that.
No.
Like, play more, but for like a year. I just
How
feel like
long?
you're a
How
mother.
long do you think I should play around for? I have a hard time.
I think it's like you don't even give any thought to how long. It's like just. I do think that we're all kind of like boyfriend girls. Like I feel like we're all the kind of girls.
So you're trying to get her to fuck for us? Like,
No,
oh
like
my-
that's like never single long. Like I always run right after when I get dumped because I've only ever been dumped. I always think like, oh my God, I'm gonna be single forever. And then I always get a boyfriend really fast.
I've been single for years at a time.
Really?
Years and years.
No.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I would go through just bouts of being
Oh my God, you
completely
guys.
asexual.
Oh, sorry. Say that again, Annie. I thought my hair was like.
Being completely like asexual and stuff like that. But wait, this is what I wanted to tell you that Wayne Dyer said today on this thing that I was listening to that's so good. He goes, life itself is a sexually transmitted terminal disease. Isn't that so good?
What does he mean?
It's like we're going to die. We're sexually transmitted and we're going to die.
Oh, that's funny.
Because he was talking about like using your imagination and like I am statements. So like whatever you want to be, you just create, just I am. And he was saying that
I am an
that
STD.
well, he had leukemia while he was talking about this. So he was like, I'm not saying to say that he's like, I know that I have leukemia and I know that this does, like, I have an understanding of what it does to your body and what the limitations people say it does. He goes, but you can't say like, I am going to live forever. He's like, but I do think that you can live each moment like its fullest and its brightest. And he's like, since my diagnosis, I've had such amazing like bursts of brilliance in my life or whatever. But it was cool. It was just like a random thing I listened to. But I thought that was funny.
I always trust when people either at the end of their life or going through some terminal illness, like I always listen extra carefully to what they're saying because I feel like they sort of crack the code of life in those really difficult moments. And
Yeah.
I love to hear the morsels of wisdom from them.
Well, they
I
probably
agree.
drop the like ego part of it, because it's like they're not like, it's not about like flashiness or anything. Like all of like the superficial stuff, it's got to go away at that point, I would think, because you're like, all right, I don't have time to fucking focus on that. I only have time to focus on the real, like, deep stuff. What were you going to say? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I just agree with all that. It feels like people in those positions like know and feel things that we just can't reach or grasp yet. And like there is something to going through difficult, tragic things. Like I feel like all of our great thinkers always are commenting on how like life is just about how you react to all the tragedies that are coming. Like because we're all walking STDs. It's like there's no other.
And we all lose our loved ones. It just happens, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're fucking Bella Hadid. It's like you're still a human.
Yeah.
You're still going to experience pain and all that shit. So like, we can't hide from it.
Have we moved on to Bella now?
Well, Bella
We've been
Hadid's just, like,
rejected. We've been rejected by everyone else. She's just, I'm going to get one of you.
You're next,
coming.
Bella. I know your sister.
I feel like she wouldn't diss you like Kendall.
I actually kind of agree.
I disagree. I like the idea of like everyone's going to diss you and then they'll come around. Like they're all going to be like, do you remember when we thought this was a creep?
I listened to a podcast called The History of Fire, and I was so energized and inspired by this one story where basically in the 1800s, this Chinese woman who was a prostitute, she was working in the floating brothels. Like, I guess she was one of the women that would have sex with like the pirates and a floating brothel. That shit. And she worked her way up to being the leader of the largest pirate confederacy in history. Bigger than even like, who's the most famous like pirate ever? Like Blackbeard.
She really blowholed her way to the top.
She really fucking did. Like they're saying like her fleet or her confederacy was like 80,000 people, and Blackbeard only had like an eighth of that. Wow. And this woman
Power
is still
of the
like
pussy, baby.
relatively unknown.
I thought you were gonna say this woman is still something. I was like, she's alive.
It's the 1800s, but like
I don't know why I was like, holy shit.
There isn't a lot of literature about her. You know, everyone's always like Blackbeard, and this badass bitch basically
She was
like,
Blackbeard's beard. Blackbeard was
cool.
gay, guys.
Yeah.
There she is.
Oh, she's cute.
But that's like my favorite storyline. Same in Peaky Blinders with this woman who was just one of Tommy Shelby's whores, eventually became like one of the strongest in the show.
Look at that's a power bitch. Look at her
She
face.
banned rape amongst
did
her
she?
fleet.
Wow.
Ching Shi?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
What happened back in the day if you gave like a toothy blowjob and they just threw you to the sharks? They're like, this is a floating brothel, bitch. You're done.
Well, that's how like when I took a marine biology class, one of the stories that my professor used to say is like the idea of mermaids actually came from drunk pirates accidentally having sex with manatees.
What?
I've heard that. That's so funny.
Right? Like, I don't know how true that is, but it's apparently like these drunk pirates would
Your
just
face is so funny.
Don't you
Get
feel like if we were pirates, Carlos would be the first one to fuck a manatee?
No, we think he was a manatee. He would get fucked. They'd think he was a manatee.
Carlos, come on.
I wouldn't fuck a manatee.
There's
Oh my God.
I wouldn't have
Did you
gone-
stop
I
at
would've
man?
stayed in
Did you say
Spain.
a T or did you just stop? I didn't hear.
I wouldn't have gone on these fucking boats. I would have been royalty in Spain. I would have just chilled.
What if it's like
Never
no
came to the
homo?
New World.
What if it's no homo? You would be getting manipulated by all these boat whores would get you.
Oh, I would give.
You
them
love a
all my
prosty.
gold. I would give all the prostitutes my gold on the ship if I was
Your
there.
mom's gold.
Yeah,
Your dad's
I'd be
gold.
like, this is from the land of Herrera, Spain.
But I thought of you, Esther. I was like, oh, I think you have that kind of like a perfect strategy in you to go from whore to like, you know what I mean? Like working a
Don't
brothel.
out her. This is her secret. She's like, you do look like you're about to get outed for something. You're like, don't
For
tell
being
them.
an escort secretly.
Isn't that so fucking cool though?
Oh, I love that. You know I love stories like that. I mean, I idolize, growing up, I know everyone hates me for this, but like
Amy Fisher.
Jenna Jameson, Trisha Paytas, like Anne Nicole Smith. Like, I love when a woman like uses her sexuality. Like Emrata even does it. And like, even though I don't like, even though her work isn't like my thing exactly, I love the concept that Emrata is like, was so hot in this music video that there were 3 naked women in it, and the only one everyone remembers is her. So she's clearly like this like like her,
Do you think any of them are gonna have their like Kelly moment though?
I hope so. But like, and then she's taken that success and is now a podcaster, an author, and like, I just think that is like the goal. That is so wonderful that she's doing that. And like I said, even though it's not like content for me necessarily. I see you, I love you kind of thing.
What did you
She the
love
one
about
banging Pete Davidson?
Jenna Jameson?
Her book was incredible. Her book, her life story of how she was 15 years old and wanted to work at the strip club and fucking took her with pliers, ripped her braces out herself, like a woman who's like in a troubling situation and like takes action and makes choices. Like that to me, I love when the woman is in the driver's seat, like making her life happen.
Sitting on so many phone books.
Yeah. It is such a like complicated area where men get so angry. And I know like I've seen the comments where people get so mad at me that I look up to these women that are like supposedly bad, whatever. But I feel like people don't understand that when you're a girl, there's not that many powerful icon idols that we had to look up to, right? Like, I understand if you're a guy, you think, oh my God, I can be president, I can do anything. All the powerful people in the world are men. But like when you're a girl, you got to be more creative. And so I like, why does someone like Jenna Jameson have to just be like all the bad things you want to say about her? Why can't I look at her story and see the good in it and think that's cool? And same for like Bad Baby and like everyone else. Like, I'm just, give us like some wiggle room to view things differently and to be inspired and see the good in stuff. But it is this like misogynist, like preaching that or whatever, like that people just, you're not allowed to do that. And even Imrata, to her credit, is like, people tell me they don't want, like, why is she writing? Why is she podcasting? Like, well, what is she supposed to do? Just like shake her tits? That's all she's allowed to have? Like, no, she can do, it might not be for you. You don't have to listen,
right?
But you don't have to trash it. Like, let us all do our thing. It just, people don't see it from our perspective because they're usually guys and they're mad at us because we want them.
One trick pony is all you'll be.
Yeah.
But
that's
also
what they want.
Easier to digest. It's like you are one thing and one thing only. It kind of short circuits a lot of people's brains when you are 4 things, 5 things.
Yeah.
You can do more than just podcasts. When you can do more than just be a model. It's like, God forbid you allow us a 3D, like the respect of knowing like we're 3D.
But that's why we have to just ignore those people, like, and need their, but that's the fucking annoying part, right? It's like, cause you're just like, what the hell is this? Like, it's so crazy to be like, I know I talk about this all the time and I've talked about it on Anniewood. But like, it is just like, so, like you're like mad at me for being a slut when I was a kid. Like, why is anyone mad that I was a slut when I was young? Like, why would a stranger care if I was like a slut in high school after being molested? Like, why is that like a problem? But then I'm like, why am I even like paying it? That's crazy for me to even pay attention to that. It's like everyone, like when people used to say that there was like a rumor spread that I like hooked up with the booker to get into this festival, which was just so asinine. It was like so crazy to me. I was like, when have I ever done fucking anything like that except like reject people that are trying to do that with me? And so that was like so upsetting. And then I remember Whitney being like, she's like, yeah, but even if it was true, like, why would it matter? I'm like, no, but it didn't happen. Like, so it's like, it's a separate thing. It's like, but that's not the truth. I didn't do that. I don't use those things like overtly in that way to get things. I never have. However, that doesn't mean I'm judging someone else that does or whatever. It's just like, and maybe sometimes I am. Maybe sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't like that. That's not for me. But everyone should be making the best out of like whatever their situation is. Like, get your exit out. We're all in our own fucking escape room, you know? It's like, find your way out, solve the riddle the way however well you, I don't know why I'm making an escape room analogy.
I've never been to an escape
They're
room.
actually so fucking fun.
I'd never want to go to one, but no,
you would be so annoying in an escape room. That little princess in the escape room. She's like, I'm cold.
To those people though, who want, you know, whether it's a woman, whoever, to just be that one thing, to be the naked girl, whatever one thing you want them to be. Are you one thing? out there, are you just an incel? Is that all you are? No, you're more than that. Like, we all have more than one thing about us. So like, we're all and also we're all the same.
You know, it's so funny that we literally do have like such an audience of people that just watch us to hate on us, be mad at us. It's so funny. Like, normally I'd be like, who are you even talking to? But it is crazy. It's like they're getting like, you guys are our fans. That's the thing. You guys like us.
We're just here to
if you keep watching it to complain about it, like, you like us.
Wait, you guys. I know that
you like us.
You like us.
Either way is clicking, you know?
Yep.
That's all I care about. Do we believe in New Year's resolutions? Did we already establish this last year?
I feel like what I remember the sentiment of it was like, we don't like to put pressure on a specific time.
That's right. But can you give me your high and your highs and your lows this year? Give me one high, one low, and one hope for the next year.
Okay.
I have one.
Okay, go.
Okay. So I just started my Annie Wood podcast, and I feel like I'm really excited because I'm putting like, it feels like my artwork kind of like I'm really like trying to create something, and Todd's helping me that's like really cool. And I want to grow it as like things that I really like and not worry about what people think about it, like numbers. Like, I want to be doing it like true to like what I really like rather than like trying to get like anything out of it. Do you know what I mean? I want to go through that with like my
project.
But I want to do that with like all of the stuff that I do, like with my stand up and stuff too. Like, I don't want to get like caught up in like people's like, I don't know. I don't want to be like focused on the result. I want to be like in the moment of what I'm doing and like make everything like just love what I'm doing.
Right. So that's the hope. Any highs and lows of 2020?
I don't know what that means. Oh, of past year?
Yeah.
Highs and lows?
I have a high, which was, okay, I was so terrified, and it's not even that big of a deal, but in February, I flew to New York, like just with the purpose to get past at the Comedy Cellar. And like, I was so scared. And even like days leading up to my audition, I was like, I don't need to do this. I was like, I don't even need to do this. Why am I doing this? I'm never in New York. Like, I don't need to be past there. My brain like tried to talk me out of it. I was so nervous. And I fucking somehow, some way did it, got past. And it just, I think knowing how scared I was and that I actually went through and got the positive result and like feel that, I don't know.
When did you do that?
In February.
So weird.
And like, so I just feel good about that because I feel like stand up is just a thing where, I don't know. I think the New York scene, when I think about it, it's like all these like angry old guys who just like hate everybody. And I'm like, well, no, I went to your club. I got past there. Like, I can perform that there now whenever I want to. So that was like a good like high badge of honor.
They're fun too. The New York the New York comics are fun as hell.
Fuck yeah.
They are fun.
I would say my low is pretty obvious. I went through a breakup, and the pain of that I am just getting over. But a high for me is definitely going home, reconnecting. But a really recent high for me is finding my friendship with Bobby again in like a way that is like, I could cry thinking about it. It's so much more meaningful than I think it's ever been. And it feels like genuine, and it feels like, it's like very life affirming. I'm like, holy fuck, like I really love this person. The romantic door is closed, but like, I fucking love this person, and I'm going to be friends with them for the rest of my life. So it was kind of like an ending and a beginning again. So yeah, like finding my love for him in a different way is a high for me.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's so cute. Both of yours is very special.
Because I love you both so much, and like I needed that for me.
But also it seems like better because it's like it was like, if you're in a relationship that's like not giving you what you want, then you're like upset all the time, and it's like you miss like the whole reason you were together anyway, is that you like enjoyed each other, and then you don't have like those same expectations of each other, and you can just kind of like let it breathe and be good.
Yeah
My low was probably, I feel like this summer, which Carlos maybe remembers, like I feel like I just like meandered a lot of time, and I was waiting for stuff that like wasn't happening, and I just feel like I let that control me, and I feel like I didn't really like till the fall start learning to like look within and like be more creative. And so I feel like I meandered time just like because of insecurity or something this summer a little.
I feel like that time is also really necessary though. I'm learning to like live in the in-between, the discomfort, the not knowing. I'm usually the type of person where it's like, nope, I need to be super decisive. I need to know an answer almost like immediately. And one of the things that I've been working on in therapy the most is allowing the discomfort of she calls it like a liminal space. And even if liminal space is just an in-between space, like between here and there. And I'm so uncomfortable in this space and I meander a lot and I wake up like, what am I? And I have all these things swirling in my head, but I can't seem to pull the trigger on anything. And, but I'm learning that is very, very, that is time not wasted. That is time necessary to actually get to a place where you need to be. So meander all you want. I don't think that that's a bad thing.
I need to take that in because that is like painful to me. Like the meandering, I think about it and
But like waiting for things to sucks. It's like we just do something else.
Yeah.
You started a fucking tie-dye business. You know what I mean? Like there's a million things to do.
Yeah. So I'm like mad that I let that get the best of me, but you know.
But it's nothing. And you probably just needed rest too. It's like, just like listen to your body. It's always the right thing. Like I feel like that's what it like always helps me. It's like whenever I'm upset about something, it's like everything's happening exactly as it's how it's supposed to happen. And I feel like just from my like ego deaths and doing hallucinogens and stuff, it's like, I feel like the lesson I'm always getting is like, oh shit, everything's like, was always supposed to be like this. So it's like no reason to like fret.
Carlos? A hope for next year, a high and a low and a hope.
A low? Maybe it was like the butt tape moment.
Yeah, right. That was a high.
I felt
that's when you fell in
the
love.
Highest of highs.
I feel like, maybe that was a high because I was surprised that my butthole was like not like horrible to witness.
It was so pretty.
Thank you.
What?
I appreciate that. Annie, I feel like you liked it.
I was indifferent. The opposite of love.
Such a flex.
And okay, so
a high.
A high from this past year. I really liked our trip to New York when we went to Flagrant. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
And it was the first day of the Ukrainian war.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what that says to me? That you guys were sitting in a hotel watching the news. That's all that says to me.
You're right. And my hope for next year, just that like Bad Friends does really well and that I have a good time on Bad Friends. That's mostly it. Is that I more focus on that show.
What?
And
okay.
Yeah. I hope Bad Friends does well.
Cool.
Hope their tour goes well and
yeah.
Hope Andrew sells a lot of tickets. Yeah. Santino.
That's sweet.
Thanks, Carlos.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
My high, I want to say my low was working with Carlos.
Just do it over again.
Hell, I didn't do mine yet. I didn't do my highs and lows. I just had my hopes. My high was not being on Carlos's high. The one time he wasn't hanging out with me. That's cool. No, my high was, I don't know, my whole year has been so good. I feel like I've been so happy. I love my boyfriend. I love my dog. I love my family. I feel like really like forgiving my parents, having like really a new relationship with them has been amazing. Going on the road has been a high. I love meeting everyone. And starting my new podcast has been amazing. And then my low, I don't really feel like I had like a low. I mean, I think I went through a lot of stuff, but it was just like processing things and it was good. Everything's been so good. No lows, baby.
Yeah, wait, I think my hope is, I'm choosing this, sorry.
It's apple juice anyway.
She doesn't.
The Shuggies.
I actually already had apple juice today.
Really?
Yeah, it's complicated. My hope is I want to read and journal more and like get more introspective in 2023 because that I think is like what I wish I had done this summer. And I didn't. And so.
What did you do when you were like meandering?
I don't know.
You don't have memory of it even?
No, I'm like, what did I? Yeah, there was like, I feel like.
You wish you had learned. That's so cute.
Like, I feel like I just did nothing but like.
Stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
Stagnation. Also.
I don't even remember what was the summer. What was the summer?
See?
What did we do?
I don't know what time is. Like, I'm like, I have a jacket. Is it winter?
Yeah.
It's New Year's. What's happening?
Well, on that note,
Time's a fun trip.
Honestly,
Yay. Been fun with you girls.
Let's cheers to another year with all of our sluggies.
Yes.
Cheers, you guys. Thank you for a great year with us.
Bye,
It's
guys.
been kind of a ride. We do realize.
Yeah. Yep.
We love it all the same.
Yeah.
And we're appreciative that we found our tribe of slugs.
And we're on to new things. No more bullshit.
Yeah.
We're dropping some things, okay?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.